There is a difference between who you are and what you appear to be. Image is crafted. It responds to external eyes. Identity is cultivated. It responds to your inner truth. When your focus is consumed by how others see you, you start tailoring your life to their expectations, slowly drifting away from who you really are. Image changes with situations. It is molded by applause, fear, or the desire to belong. It can be polished, disguised, altered to suit the moment, but identity stays with you in silence, in stillness, when no one is watching. It is the foundation you return to when the world's noise fades away. To be rooted in identity means to make choices from the inside out. It means not performing your life but embodying it. It means asking, does this align with my values? Does this reflect who I really am, or just what I think I should be? When you chase image, your actions are reactions. You wear masks to fit in, speak words that please, move in ways that avoid judgment. Over time, you may find success, but it feels hollow, because what you gain is not yours. It belongs to the persona you created, not the person you are. Identity requires stillness. It grows in solitude and honesty. To connect with it, you must stop running from discomfort and listen to the quiet voice beneath the roles you play. You must be willing to disappoint others if it means remaining true to yourself. In a world that rewards visibility, remaining invisible to seek truth is a radical act. When you do not advertise your every step, when you are more committed to alignment than attention, you begin to live from a deeper place. And that place cannot be shaken by opinion or failure. The moment you shift from "how do I look" to "what do I stand for," your entire energy changes. You stop exhausting yourself by performing and begin preserving your strength for building. Image demands performance. Identity demands presence. The journey to future change begins not by adding more to your name, but by remembering who you were before you were told who to be. Identity is the root. Image is the shadow. One feeds your being, the other feeds your ego. Growth does not speak in ease. It whispers through tension. The presence of discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is a marker of expansion. Just as muscles stretch and shake under resistance, the mind and spirit awaken when they are pulled beyond familiarity. Discomfort appears when you are close to crossing a threshold. It arises when you step outside the known, when your patterns begin to dissolve. The instinct is to retreat, to return to comfort, but that is the moment to pause and listen. That is the edge where transformation begins. The compass does not point toward peace, but toward potential. It guides you not to what is pleasant, but to what is necessary. When you avoid discomfort, you walk in circles. When you lean into it, you carve a path through what you once thought was impossible. Pain is not the enemy. It is a signal. It tells you where energy is stuck, where truth has been denied, where courage is required. The mind may label it as danger, but the heart knows it is direction. To grow, you must learn to decode its language. Comfort, while soothing, breeds repetition. In comfort, time passes, but little changes. Discomfort is presence. It pulls you into the now. It asks you to engage, to question, to act. It is not a threat, but a mirror reflecting the gap between who you are and who you can become. When discomfort visits your body, your thoughts, or your emotions, sit with it. Trace its roots. Ask what it is here to show you. Often, it points to a fear unaddressed, a truth unspoken, or a strength untapped. It doesn't come to punish, but to awaken. Every great shift is born from a moment of unease. You do not stumble upon clarity or mastery while everything remains safe. They arrive through movement, through struggle, through choosing the harder path, not because it is painful, but because it is real. Let discomfort not push you into retreat, but pull you into direction. Let it not harden you, but open you. When you stop fighting it, you begin walking with it, and where it leads is always deeper than where comfort could have ever taken you. A dream, by itself, is a silent echo. It inspires the heart, paints pictures in the mind, but without discipline it remains weightless. Discipline gives form to dreams. It is the structure that allows vision to become reality through quiet, repeated action. Many admire the dreamers, but few observe what sustains them. It is not the intensity of inspiration that matters, but the consistency of effort. Dreams flicker like candlelight, but discipline is the hand that shields the flame from the wind. Without it, the fire fades with time and distraction. Discipline is not harshness. It is alignment. It is the decision to return each day to what matters most, even when motivation sleeps. It does not rely on emotion. It honors commitment. It is not loud. It is steady, persistent, and invisible to those who chase only the outcome. The discipline to rise early, to train when tired, to refine when no one watches. This becomes the rhythm that reshapes who you are. Dreams speak of what is possible. Discipline teaches what is required. It transforms wishes into willpower, and willpower into embodiment. While a dream may thrill the imagination, it is fragile without roots. Discipline sinks deep into your habits, into your posture, into your breath. It does not entertain, it fortifies. It replaces fantasy with focus. It teaches that mastery is not a moment, but a path walked one deliberate step at a time. Those who achieve not only dreamed, they endured. They stayed when it was boring. They showed up when no one clapped. They returned to the basics without complaint. Because discipline is not about chasing highs, but sustaining practice through silence, repetition, and humility. In times of doubt, it is not the dream that saves you. It is the discipline you built before the doubt arrived. When you are lost, you fall back on training, not hope. When you are weary, you lean on routine, not inspiration. Discipline becomes your refuge when motivation is nowhere to be found. To choose discipline over dreams is to choose reality over illusion, presence over potential, movement over fantasy. It is the vow to show up, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Attachment to outcomes clouds the purity of your actions. When your mind clings to a specific result, your focus shifts from the process to the reward. In that shift, presence is lost. The act becomes a transaction, and effort is driven by craving rather than clarity. To detach does not mean to stop caring. It means to act fully without being owned by what follows. You give your best, not because of what it will bring, but because that is who you choose to be. It is the path of integrity rather than condition. Desire for a specific outcome can create tension. It can lead to fear, doubt, or hesitation. When you are consumed by the result, you begin to manipulate, to force, to overreach. You lose the stillness required for true excellence and replace it with noise. But when you focus on the act itself, on sharpening the blade, taking the step, breathing through the discomfort, you are free. Free from the fear of failure, free from the need to be seen, free from the weight of expectation that distorts your natural rhythm. Detachment is a discipline. It is practiced by showing up without seeking validation, by creating without needing applause, by doing the right thing even when the result is uncertain. It is the quiet understanding that not everything needs to be measured to be meaningful. Often, the outcome is not in your control. Timing, people, environment, all of these move independently of your will, but effort is yours, intention is yours, attention is yours. When you root yourself in what you can govern, the rest begins to lose its power over you. The one who detaches becomes dangerous to doubt, because they cannot be moved by praise or rejection. They walk forward without asking who's watching. They move not for the reward, but because movement itself is the way. To detach from the outcome is to become intimate with the now. It is to give everything while needing nothing. It is to shape the future not through control, but through complete presence in the moment that is already here. Noise is not always sound. It is the clutter of opinions, the weight of comparisons, the endless motion of thoughts that are not your own. It fills the space within until your inner voice is drowned beneath the echoes of the world. The more you listen outward, the more you forget the language of your own truth. To silence the noise is not to run away from life, but to return to its essence. It is to pause before you react, to breathe before you speak, to observe before you decide. This space between impulse and action becomes the chamber where the self can be heard again. External noise often comes disguised as guidance, validation, or opportunity, but when received without discernment, it becomes a distraction dressed as direction. Not all advice is wisdom, and not all movement is progress. To walk with awareness, you must learn to quiet the influence of voices that do not belong to you. In silence, the mind becomes sharper. The senses recalibrate. You begin to notice the tension in your shoulders, the pace of your breath, the subtle pull of your intuition. These signals are always present, but in noise they are buried. In silence they rise. To amplify the self is to choose depth over volume. It is not about being louder in the world, but becoming more rooted in your being. The self does not grow through performance, but through stillness, through reflection, through the quiet study of your own thoughts and choices. When the world demands reaction, silence becomes resistance. It is not passive, it is powerful. To be still in the midst of chaos is not weakness, it is strength trained in solitude. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you do not need to prove, only to live in alignment. True amplification is not about adding more. It is about refining, removing what is false, letting go of what no longer serves. What remains is pure, unshakable, and steady. It does not ask for attention. It radiates presence. A vision is a light in the distance. It gives direction, not demand. But when that light becomes a weight on your shoulders, it stops guiding and starts controlling. Vision, when misunderstood, turns into pressuring, to an endless standard you are never allowed to fall short of. To carry a vision is a sacred act, but to be enslaved by it is to forget why you began. The path to becoming is not forged in force. It is shaped by daily steps, not constant tension. If every move is haunted by where you are not yet, you will miss where you are already. Let your vision walk beside you, not behind you whispering judgments, nor ahead of you pulling with anxiety. It should inspire the journey, not consume it. Vision is the compass, not the command. It should remind you of direction, not dictate your every breath. Some carry their vision like armor, others like chains, but the strongest carry it like a friend, a quiet voice that nudges rather than shouts, a gentle reminder that guides in silence. When vision becomes partnership instead of pressure, the journey becomes more honest and less exhausting. There will be days when the distance between where you are and where you imagine feels wide, but this space is not failure, it is invitation. An invitation to be present, to practice, to persevere. Vision was never meant to shame you into action. It was meant to call something deeper forward. Progress is not linear, and your vision should not demand perfection. It should allow for detours, rest, recalibration. The future you imagine is not a finish line. It is a reflection of what matters to you. When you hold it lightly, you create room to evolve without breaking under expectation. You are not meant to chase your vision with clenched fists. You are meant to move toward it with open hands and steady breath. To trust that even when the form shifts, the essence remains. Vision is not about control. It is about clarity. A vision rooted in ego becomes a burden. A vision rooted in truth becomes a guide. One drains your energy, the other restores it. One demands speed, the other invites depth. To walk with your vision is to let it illuminate the way without overshadowing your steps.